Welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Al Guevara. This is Al Guevara Interviews. With me today is Miss Aileen Ramos, the director of the Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I was watching, I follow your accounts, right? And I know you have a lot of pretty much everything on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll get to that. And you were talking about, or at least the Convention and Visitors Bureau was talking about reopening Laredo. What does that mean?
Well, as you know, with the pandemic, we had some difficult times here in the community. And so we are really excited that things are getting better. People are getting vaccinated. People are starting to go out. And so that is a great opportunity for us here at the city of Laredo as a destination. And a lot of people think, well, is Laredo a destination?
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, none of us, of course, we prefer to vacation outside of our community, right? So sometimes we tend to not see our community as a destination, but let me tell you, a lot of people see our community as a destination for their vacation. So we're excited about that. We're excited about welcoming them back to visit our community, our destination, and we're just happy to come back and new and improved because we have a lot of new things going on with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and in the city overall.
Excellent. So I know we mentioned specifically your department, right? Convention and Visitors Bureau. Where exactly are you located?
Well, and for those of you that don't know exactly what is a Convention and Visitors Bureau, we're
Good point.
basically the tourism office for the city of Laredo because a lot of people ask us that. And so we are the visitor center, the tourism office. We promote Laredo as a destination. And we are we have a brand new office. We are located in downtown Laredo in 101 Salinas. So if you're going to the outlets, we're right next door. We have a brand new visitor center with a retail shop. So if you're looking for any Laredo swag, to anything that you want to send to your family member that's gone out of town or that you want to get for yourself, come visit us.
Excellent. As a matter of fact, I've seen the Laredo gift shop online as well, right? You got it at visitlaredo.com.
Yes, we wanted to give people an option. Of course, we launched this during the pandemic, and so not everybody was going out. Our office, as you know, a lot of the city offices were closed to the public. And so we still wanted to give people an option to get their Laredo souvenirs, get the Laredo swag. And also there's a lot of people from Laredo that live out of town, right? And so we want to give them the option to also be able to purchase those products. And so we have a gift shop, as you said, on our website, visitlaredo.com.
That way you can represent your city when you're anywhere in the country, right?
Exactly. And so
So
we shipped all over the US.
wonderful. On visitlaredo.com, there's also the
Mhm.
OlaLaredo Podcast. What could you tell
Yes.
me about that?
That's a really exciting project. And so again, in trying to figure out how to communicate with people, when you're a destination, your best card is people coming in, right? And
Mhm.
word of mouth and telling their friends and their family members, hey, I went to Laredo and it was so exciting. And so without having that element, the best way is telling people stories like what you do here, um, interviewing people that are here in our community, attractions, tourism industry partners. And so we did that, and we started the blog together with our agency, and it's called OlaLaredo Podcast, and it's been a great success. We have a lot of followers, not only from the U.S. and Mexico, but all over the world, which is really exciting. And we basically feature and highlight the different attractions and the different activities that you can do as a visitor here in Laredo, from the food to the history to the culture to golf, sports, everything you can imagine. So we have different um, guests every time that we have our episode.
Now, I know you mentioned the locations and things like that, and a really good thing would be a visitor center, right? So you do have the Visit Laredo app as well, right?
Exactly. So we have our visitor center. So we kind of try to we cater to everybody depending on what their preferred medium is. And so we have our visitor center. So if you still want to talk to somebody and have them highlight the map and get you to where you need to go, we have that. We have our visitor center. If you want to do it all electronically on your own, we have that option. So you can download the app. You can download the Visit Laredo app on both Android or iPhone, and you can plan your trip. And so by the time you get here, you know exactly what restaurants you're going to go to, you know, or at least you have an idea, you
Mhm.
know what attractions there are available. And all this is connected to our website, visitlaredo.com.
That's wonderful. Now, as a organization, the Convention and Visitors Bureau of Laredo, which you are the director of, what kind of services do you offer visitors that are coming into our community?
We offer all kinds of services, including information, for example, all kinds of information over the phone, online, our social media outlets. We have different outlets, as you mentioned,
Mhm.
and we are very good at responding any questions that the public has about our destination. And so we try to answer all those questions. Our job is to help you plan and have the best trip to Laredo, and that's one of our jobs. We have many, but that's one of our
Yeah.
jobs. The other one is actively promoting the destination. So we go out and we talk to people about Laredo, to the media, to different outlets, so people can know more about our destination. I always say that we need to tell our own story. Sometimes we let other people tell our story,
Yeah.
and it's so rich, it's so exciting. And so I want to make sure that we are telling our own story. And another thing that we do, as I mentioned, is promotional items, the souvenirs. We provide that. We also have different outlets of information, different. We feature different attractions. We promote all of our attractions, our hotels. So if you have a group, for example,
Uh-huh.
I receive calls from different places, or I've seen messages on Facebook. I saw a message from a friend the other day. She was like, "Hey, anybody knows of what hotels might be able to help me because I have a group?" And I was like,
You're
"Just
like,
give us a call." Yeah, like give us a call. And she actually called us, and we were able to um, help her, because what we do is we have communication with all the hotels, so we can
Mhm.
very easily send a lead to all of them and say, "Hey, there's a group coming, who's interested?"
Okay.
And relay that information to the group or the tournament um, that is coming to Laredo, is looking to come to Laredo. We also assist. Some people are part of chapters and
Uh-huh.
associations, and so sometimes they say, "Hey, I want to bring the conference from my association to Laredo. How do I do it?" That's where we come in. We love to do that. We love to go out, partner with different local associations and state associations and national groups, to bring their groups to Laredo. So that's something else that we do. And we're very excited. And sometimes people don't know that we do that, or that Laredo has that service. And so we
Right.
call it "Bring home your conference, bring home your meeting," and we're happy to help.
And you mentioned that you said groups, chapters, organizations, associations, family reunions, that kind of thing as
Fa-
well.
Family reunions, weddings. We've done weddings too. We've done
Okay.
the other thing that we do is, if you have a large enough group, depending on the room nights, because all of our budget, everything that we do, every piece of funding that we have,
Hmm.
and sorry, I lost my mic.
It's okay.
Every piece of funding that we have comes from the hotel occupancy tax.
Right.
So we are one of those departments that it's not funded by the taxes that locals pay. Rather, it's funded by the taxes that the visitors pay.
Okay.
And so everything that we do has to be tied up to bringing more visitors, right? And so if your group, if your reunion, depending on the number of people and room nights that it's bringing, we can offer additional services. We can offer registration services, welcome bags, tour services. Um, a lot of groups bring their spouses, so we can offer spouse tours. So it all
Okay.
depends on the number of people and the number of nights they're staying in our community. That opens the door for us to offer additional services.
Well, now I'm going to be asking you about things to do in Laredo, but before we go into that next topic, when you bring somebody in, and I imagine now that the pandemic is kind of like going out, right? We're still a little cautious, right?
Mhm.
Are we starting to see more inquiries about groups, associations, things like that?
Slowly but surely, we're very happy because we're starting to see those groups. That is something that definitely went away. A lot of the conventions, 2020 was going to be a great year for us in terms of conventions. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a lot of those got pushed, not
Wow.
canceled, but pushed to different years. And so 2022, we're going to see a lot of those coming. A lot of them took 2021 as another pause year, but 2022, I think it's going to be a strong year for us in terms of conventions, and we'll start to see those requests trickle in, and also our sales staff is now able to start going out and start looking for those leads again. So we're excited about that.
Excellent. Yeah. And everybody was looking forward to 2020. It was such a, it's 2020. I mean, it's just a perfect,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
great, and my son graduated 2020. It's like everybody was looking forward to a momentous year, and it was, except
Yeah.
not in the way we expected. Right.
Yeah. Not necessarily the way we wanted.
So going back to a couple of things, I wanted to go back. You were talking about the podcast being named OlaLaredo. That's a hashtag, correct?
That's our hashtag. Several years ago, I can't remember how many, but it was a few years ago. We had a contest. Actually, we had a contest here in our community, and people chose the hashtag. So it has received a lot of traction. It has a lot of traction around our community. If you go into social media, I think there's like 200,000 posts with
Nice.
OlaLaredo. Yeah, so
Some of those are mine, by the way.
very good. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
So we have definitely, the community has embraced a hashtag, and so it makes sense that we continue with that, and we named our podcast OlaLaredo.
That's
It's
wonderful.
friendly. Everybody, even if it's in a different language, everybody knows what Ola means.
Right.
And so it's one of those words that is almost universal.
We need to also co-opt Holla Laredo, HOLLA, right? Holla, that way, in case
That can
somebody
be the next
misspells it,
one.
we got it
Yeah.
too, right?
Exactly.
So when people think of Laredo, and you mentioned it early on, we're talking, we don't see our city as a destination, right? We're always looking at where are we going. Let's go to, the beach. Let's go north or whatever, not mention any other cities specifically, right? But what kind of things do you tell people? Okay, this is what we have to do in Laredo.
Well, I think there's a lot of activities that you can do, and again, we tend to not see our own community as a destination, but I would challenge everybody to, and even if you're not from Laredo, if you're watching this and you're from another city, don't discard your city as a destination.
Right.
Be a tourist in your own community. That's always great, because sometimes we have no idea what our community has to offer, and there's those hidden treasures. And when we discover them, it's like, how is it that we didn't know? So always be a tourist in your own community. And here in Laredo, we have so many different things. And I wanna point people to, we do have a program in our office that obviously because of the pandemic, it got suspended, but it's coming back later this year, called Destination Training. Okay. And so if you're new to the community, even if you're not new to the community, but you haven't explored Laredo, sign up to that program. It's a few hours. It's from 7 in the morning to 3 p.m. Just one day, and we'll give you a great tour of our community. It's a quick tour. It's just to give you a little probadita, a little taste of what it is that we have to offer. And so it all depends on what your interest is. But let's say you like history. Our community is, as you know, older than the US. We were founded in 1755. So with that comes a lot of history. And I was talking to Webb County Heritage Foundation yesterday, and they reminded me our history goes even beyond. We had the Coahuiltecans, we had all those groups that were in our area. So we have even more history beyond our foundation. We have museums. We have the Republic of the Rio Grande. A lot of people don't know exactly that we were our own country. Very good. Right. People don't know that we were our own country, and that we were our own country with 3 states in Mexico.
Yeah.
So the 3 stars, as you know, is Coahuila, Nuevo León, and Nuevo Santander. Okay. And so, yeah, for those of you that haven't seen that, we have a museum about the Republic of the Rio Grande. We have the Border Heritage Museum. We have a water museum. A lot of people don't know that we have a water museum. Absolutely. That's a wonderful, wonderful place. And so take your family, take your friends. A lot of people call me when their family is in town, and they're like, where do I take them? What did we do? And I'm like, there's so many different things. Exactly. Get educated before your family comes in, so you can show them a great time. That is only downtown.
Right.
People that want to see the cathedral, it looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
It just reopened
Newly
and it
right,
looks,
newly reopened, right?
yes, it looks so nice. Even if you're not religious, or it's just a work of art, literally,
Yeah.
to go see the cathedral. We also have sports. We have the Tecos that right
Right.
now they have their season. We have Laredo Heat that's also in the middle of their season. We have also our collegiate sports. We have Tamiu. We have the Palominos at LC. We also have the Max. And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't play golf and they say, well, why would I go to the Max?
It's
I
really
want to tell
nice.
you, it's really nice
Beautiful.
and the food is amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't play golf. I just go for the food. And
I'll
Chef
do
Lorenzo
both.
already knows. Nothing wrong.
Nope.
And they also have, in non-pandemic years,
Yeah.
they have a lot of activities. So from yoga to 5Ks to different activities. So don't discard it just because it's a golf course and you don't play
Right.
golf. Let me tell you, you're missing out if you're not going. There's also a great view from
Yes.
there. So the sunsets are amazing. I mean, we all know, if you live in Laredo, you know that we have some of the best sunsets in the
Beautiful.
world, and nothing like going to the Max and watching that sunset in the river is just wonderful. Same thing, if y'all haven't been to the Tres Laredos Park in front of the outlet to
Yes.
watch the sunset behind the railroad bridge. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, you're all missing out. You have to go.
It's a beautiful natural resource that we have that people don't realize how significant the Rio Grande is. And it's a beautiful resource, not only water but just nature. And one of the things that we haven't touched on is the birding and the nature trails, right? That we
Yes.
also offer in our community.
Yes, so we have great birding, and I think that we have this perspective of wonder of everything that I'm telling you because we get to see it from the visitor eyes,
Right.
from we bring groups, we bring media outlets, and to see their faces when they see the Rio Grande, when they see what they've never seen in person, right? So
Yeah.
it's seeing their expressions. It's really wonderful. But yeah, we're part of one of the birdiest corridors in
Yep.
Texas,
Birdiest.
and birdiest exactly. And
It's a
so
word.
we have, yes, it's like it's like birding and birder. It's all those terms.
They're verbs,
There,
adjectives.
and so
Good.
people come from all over the world, especially during our birding festival
Mhm.
that Montemucho and Rio Grande International Study Center put together in February every year. This year they actually still had it. It was virtual. It was a great session or a great event, still a virtual um, form. But it's a great opportunity to see. Sometimes one of the speakers at one of the festivals said, "We don't realize how many birds are around us until you
Yeah.
stop and you look at the trees and you realize they're packed with birds and they're all different. They're all not just mourning doves or
Right.
crows, or they're all different and different colors. And so the Max is also a great location to
Yes.
see some birds. The different parks that we have in our community, the lake, you see a lot of waterfowl,
Hmm.
and we actually have a bird that is endemic to the region. So you can only find it here, which is a morelet white collar seed eater.
Really?
So um, there's people that birders that they have a life list, and so they have a list of all the birds that they have seen, and so that's why there's people coming from all over the world to Laredo to get to see that bird
It's
because
almost
you
like
can't
stamp
find it.
collectors, right? That want to
Exactly.
find
Yeah.
that rare one.
That rare one. So for anybody that doesn't know what birding is or how it works, I would highly recommend you to watch The Big Year. It's a movie and it explains it very well. But people go looking for birds. People go looking for different locations. The Birding Festival here in Laredo is one of the only festivals that combines public and private land. And so you have the opportunity to go to locations that are normally not accessible to the public
Wow.
in some private ranches. And that gives you an option to see so many different species. I can tell you personally, I've been on the trip, on the tours. I got to see an owl. It was just so impressive, so amazing. I've got to see paradoxes and other different kitties and other different birds, and that we would not imagine are here in our community. And remember, we're part of the migration
Mhm.
pattern for a lot of these species. So winter is a great time of the year to see all this different birds in our community.
You're talking about migration, and right now we're seeing the migration of the butterflies,
Yes.
where the yellow butterflies that come through the town pretty much annually, right? Every year we see hundreds, if not thousands, of butterflies going through our city. I remember one year
Mhm.
there was literally like a wall of butterflies just fluttering by. It was beautiful. You mentioned the different types of birds you've seen, and all that, and we'll see them also in the many beautiful parks we have around the city. As a matter of fact, I remember going to North Central Park and
Mhm.
seeing cardinals and hearing their beautiful song. And I think I've seen blue jays. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't know the
Yeah.
birds, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Green
just
jays.
yeah, it's that I haven't seen, but I have seen a lot of parrots. That's one
Mhm.
thing that kind of caught me off guard. And this was closer to downtown Laredo, where
Yes.
you literally see dozens of parrots flying from
Yeah.
pecan tree to pecan tree or wherever, maybe to eat or just to hang around.
They actually gather at St. Peter's Plaza.
Really,
And
there you
so,
go.
yeah, in that area. And so, if you want to go see them, I don't know if throughout the year, but at least during the winter,
Hmm.
around 5 o'clock, when it's starting to get like a dusk,
Uh-huh.
when it's starting to get a little bit darker during the winter, between 5 and 6, they all start gathering in the trees around St. Peter's Plaza. So it's a great thing to see,
And
um,
loud.
and and very loud,
Yeah.
very loud. And so, no, it's great. North Central Park, you can actually, just because it's a little bit smaller and the colors don't necessarily pop, but you can also see the more or less. We had sightings of the more or less white collar seed eater that there at North Central Park, and you can see them all over the city. Um, right now that you said a cardinal, I actually had to do a double take a couple of days ago. I was leaving my driveway and I just saw this really bright red bird just fly into the tree in front of my house. And so I stopped. I was like, "Oh my goodness, is that?" And I had to stop and just look at it and kiss kitties and green jays and blue jays and all sorts of birds that visit us every day. But sometimes we're too busy in doing our thing and we don't realize that all those wonderful things are happening around
Well,
us.
people don't realize that we are, it's very there's a lot of wildlife. I mean, we've seen beavers in North Central Park,
Hmm.
uh foxes pretty much all over Laredo. I've literally seen foxes in residential neighborhoods
Hmm.
just climbing from fence to fence around Mall del Norte. I've seen foxes.
Hmm.
So there's
Yeah.
wildlife everywhere. Bobcats. I mean, they come out, you're like, whoa, what the, so you never know what you're going to see in Laredo, but are people keeping their eyes open, and
Exactly.
seeing what's around us and seeing Laredo for what it is, and not just, well, driving from here to there on autopilot, right?
Exactly. And there's parks all over the city. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter where you live. It doesn't matter if you live in the north, in the center, or in the south, or in downtown. There's definitely something to see and something to experience all over the community. And one of the things that I want to point out is sometimes we're so used to the food here in Laredo that we
Yeah.
don't realize that we have amazing cuisine.
Oh yeah.
And so that's one of the things. And it doesn't matter where you are in the community because there's amazing restaurants all over. And so that's another thing that it's very interesting to explore in our city.
Be a food tourist in your own city. I mean, you'll see
Yes.
like Korean barbecue, you'll see Indian food, you'll see, I mean, but probably stuff that you aren't even aware of. Some may be very small, but very specialized, but something that you wouldn't just normally seek out. Is there anywhere we can go? Has anybody put that sort of list together to do like a food tourism of Laredo?
Well, we have a whole list of all the restaurants in Laredo in our website. So
Nice.
if you want to start there, and they are gathered by type of food
Hmm.
also. And so if you want to start with all the sushi restaurants or all the best burgers, I remember a few years ago. many years ago. My husband and I were in our taco tour, in our taco
Taco
we
tour.
taco challenge. Yeah, we were
Nice.
every Friday we would go to a different taco place in different parts of the city, and we found some jewels, some really good restaurants that you would never think to go, or that you would pass by and you're like, eh.
Mm.
And some were amazing,
Yeah.
and so we discovered some really good options.
What I think also some people don't realize is that you see all Mexican food, but there's regional Mexican food restaurants in Laredo,
Mhm.
right? Que
Yeah,
Michoacan and all these different types of Mexican restaurants that aren't just your typical, right? What people would say,
yeah.
well, go to any town, it's Mexican restaurant, fajitas, that's it. No, there's way more than that, right? I think we're hungry, Ms. Ramos. We're
I
have we
think
had
so.
breakfast yet? I don't know. We're talking to Aileen Ramos, the director of the Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Some phenomenal information that we're talking about. And we mentioned earlier the social media accounts that you have. We mentioned the hashtag Hola Laredo, HOLA Laredo. But what are the accounts that you have? You have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we have also our app, our mobile app.
Mhm.
So you can find us on social media, as we mentioned, Visit Laredo, Texas on Facebook, Visit Laredo TX on Instagram, on Twitter. Use the hashtag OlaLaredo. And so if you have any questions, if you want to know more about our destination, if you want to visit our visitor center and you don't know where we're located, we're happy to answer any questions. We get questions also through our website. If you want more information, hey, I want a visitor guide, or I want, a lot of people ask us, like, where can I get postcards, or where can I get a keychain, or we have our shop. We also have our online shop. So if you
Mhm.
go to our website, visitlaredo.com, you can find all the different one we you can find our gift shop. You can also find our different programs that we do. We also organize events. That's another thing that we do.
Mhm.
So the Sister Cities Festival and the upcoming Avocado Fest, and I mean, and we are part of the whole city, right? And we're part of a big group of departments that put together these events. But we're really excited um, to bring something to the community that it's also an attraction for our visitors, but also for our locals. So we're excited to bring back Sister Cities. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
this year is not going to look like other years still,
For
um,
now, right?
for now. Yeah, but we're excited to bring it back in a different form at the end of this year. We're going to have it in a different, little bit of different form in November, but we are definitely going to have it back next year in July, hopefully, as everybody knows it and recognizes it, because it's a great event.
Yeah, getting your hands on is wonderful, and being able to see everything that's offered at the Sister Cities Festival is just beautiful. The artisanship, the craftsmanship, and it's just awesome. So, is your preferred method of contact through your website?
Anyway, it's basically what the preferred method
The
of
visitor,
the
potential
citizen,
visitor.
the visitor, is. So we have so many different options. You can contact us by email through our website. You can contact us by through our social media outlets.
Mhm.
As we mentioned, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, or you can give us a call. I mean, we have our 1-800 number, 361 33.
3360.
There you go. I had it almost there.
Yeah, you're
Um,
almost there.
and 795-2200 for those of you that are in Laredo or in the US, 956, the area code. And so you can, I mean, we have so many different ways. And also, again, in person, we have a lot of visitors that they still want to chat with us. We had a wonderful couple the other day. They came in an RV. They were looking for the lake, but they wanted to chat with us. So they called us, and then they visited us at our office, and I had a chance to talk to them and help them and guide them through our community. And so that's another thing. We have a wonderful staff there at CVB We are all very passionate about our community. We are all very passionate about what Laredo has to offer. And I think we have a great combination of skills and interests. And so it doesn't matter what you're looking for. We have somebody in our office that might have tried it or knows something about it.
You have a wonderful staff, great, hardworking people who love our community and are very knowledgeable and pleasant, and like you said, exciting about sharing our community as a destination. I want to thank you, Ms. Ramos, for joining me today. Again, Aileen Ramos, the director of the Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau. It was a pleasure having you on. The information you shared is wonderful. Again, it's visitlaredo.com. I'm going to be sharing your social media accounts here. I'll do an overlay on that for you so people can visit. And we can't wait to see more visitors dropping by our community, stopping by Laredo, Texas. We're right on the border. It's a jewel in South Texas, and the Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau is here to make sure you realize that. Would you like to add anything else, Ms. Ramos?
I just want to add, never say there's nothing to do in Laredo. Never. And if you
True.
feel like you're going to say that, give us a call and
That's
we'll
right.
make sure to tell you about all the wonderful things that we have to offer in our community.
Go to visitlaredo.com, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day.
You too.